All cameras offer a range of program modes, usually found on a big dial on top of the camera. If you own a DSLR, chances are that you've already experimented with shooting on these automatic modes. You know, sports mode, portrait, sunset or night mode. But the aim of this course is to get you outdoors shooting in the semi-automatic modes. Firstly, there is aperture priority. On the camera's program dial, it's usually shown with an A symbol on Nikon and Sony, or an AV symbol on a Canon model. Aperture priority is usually the best mode for shooting static scenes, such as landscapes or portraits. Here, you select exactly what aperture you want, and the camera will decide how long an exposure is needed. Inside your camera's lens are mechanical blades, which open and close to control the amount of light entering the camera. These aperture leaves open and close much like the human eye does. When the aperture is wide open, lots of light enters the camera. When the aperture is shut down, this restricts the amount of light entering the camera. Each lens has a different range of apertures, from f1.4 to f32 or more. If you buy really expensive fast lenses, you may get a huge aperture of f1.8, but most of you will have cheaper kit lenses that begin at about f4. Apertures are measured in f-stops, which are actually fractions. For example, if you have an f-stop of f4, this means that the aperture is open to 1/4 of the size of the focal length of the lens. So if we had a 100mm telephoto lens and our aperture value was f4, the aperture diameter would be 25mm. If we increase the f-stop to f8 on the same lens, we're now closing the aperture down to 1/8 of its focal length. So the diameter of the lens opening would be 12.5mm. Now let's look at a few aperture values again, but as fractions. Tell me, which aperture or f-stop is bigger? f1/4, f1/8, or f1/16? You're dead right. An aperture of f4 is the bigger fraction and has the biggest lens opening. That's the best way to remember it. And that lets lots of light into your camera. Now it's time to turn this abstract theory into hands-on practice. Here's a quick exercise. Firstly, get your camera out. Then turn the mode dial to aperture priority. That's A or AV. Next, move this dial to change the aperture values. These values are displayed on the LCD monitor at the back of the camera, on top of the camera, and as well within the viewfinder. Don't forget to download and print out the cheat sheet to exercise 2. It should clarify what you need to do. You can find it below this video.